Once again, welcome to Grace in Motion Ministries. We believe that grace is one of the greatest blessings that God has ever given to us. We also believe that if we're Christians, then we're also warriors. And if we're warriors and Christian warriors at that, then truly we must be in the midst of a spiritual warfare. Now, that is our objective, and that is to highlight the Christian warrior. You see, there are so many persons that God has given responsibilities, have been given callings, missions, and these are life-changing and life-stirring concepts. We believe also that we look everywhere for heroes. We look in our echelons of the rich and also the famous. But you know, heroes are all around us. We can find them in our homes, we can find them in our schools, we can find them in our own personal association. And I am so happy to have with us tonight a Christian hero. And that is a person who's a friend of mine. We have had the pleasure of working together in our Toastmasters as we cultivate different aspects of our skills to help us to do better at what we do. And this guest is an entrepreneur of MYP Inc., and I'll let you find out more about what that represents as I now introduce you all to our wonderful Christian hero, my dear sister and friend, Charlette Wynn. How are you?
Boy, that was a great introduction. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Pleasure is mine. Charlette, let's get started. Of course, the acronyms MYP. Exactly what does MYP stand for, and also what type of services do your company offers?
MYP stands for Maximizing Your Potential. MYP Inc. is a management consulting firm that offers services in the areas of assessments, strategy development, process redesign and improvement, business case, marketing plan development, technology selection and implementation. So we offer a wide range of management consulting services.
Wow, and it does sound like you all cover pretty much the whole gamut. Exactly, Charlette, what type of audience are you targeting? What is the market that you're trying to present your concept to?
The primary market that I'm targeting is the mid-sized corporation or a community, or in some cases an individual who needs help getting what I call past go. I like to try to help those organizations execute plans to help them identify what their potential is, and help them deliver the type of return or results that they're trying to deliver.
And I'm a firm believer now, most organizations, companies, etc., you know, they all have their different turns, their different flavors. Exactly what type of organization, I mean, does it matter what type of organization it is? Example, what if I had I owned a fitness center once, a Gold's Gym in Atlanta, and then say on the other spectrum, I'm trying to open up a grocery store. Would your techniques and procedure be equivalent to both concepts that I am launching?
In the area that I'm focused on, yes. You know, I've been blessed with the opportunity of working in a lot of different, what I call industries. So I have a wide range of experience in terms of dealing with different areas of focus. When you think about strategy development, the process to developing a strategy or a vision or a plan is similar. The inputs or the data may be different. So the answer to your question is no, it's not that much of a difference in terms of the area that I focus on.
Okay, very, very good. What type of programs are you actually working on as we speak?
Right now, I'm working on a project with Fulton County where I'm developing a marketing plan for the old National Highway corridor. Here you have a community that has a lot of potential for growth. It's a community that once was a community that everyone wanted to move to. And there's been some changes and challenges, but it's an area that has, again, great potential. You have the homeowners associations that's heavily involved. You have the old national merchants associations that's focused on economic viability. So I'm working on developing a marketing plan to help attract, retain businesses and residents to that area.
Okay, very, very good. Now, Charlotte, how long has MYP been in existence?
Only about 6 months.
6 months,
yes,
okay.
NYP Incorporated was formed June 29th of year 2001, shortly after I left Deloitte Consulting, which was also a management consulting firm.
Now, you meet people sometimes and they say, you said you're what? How old? My goodness, you look so young, but you say you're actually older. Or there are some that you say, well, you look so young, but you're actually older. Now, with your company, it's only 6 months old. However, have you all overcome some specific obstacles? Have you established specific connections with the community, with the system? Have you seen any of the benefits from stepping out with such a concept as a maximizing potential aura?
Yeah, some of the benefits are my experience or expertise I bring to the table. Like I said earlier, I have a wide range of experience, and I actually have about 20 years experience in the industry. I started when I was a baby, so I'm not that old.
We can
in
tell.
any event, because of my experience, I've been able to sell services based on that. And I've been blessed. I've worked with major corporations like GE Capital. When I worked for Deloitte Consulting, I had the opportunity to deliver services to corporations like General Motors, Allstate, companies that are known. So my expertise is what I've been able to use to help overcome those obstacles, because it is a challenge, because the question is, what is your experience as NYP Incorporated? So I have to always, at least at this point, go back to my expertise prior to forming NYP Incorporated.
Okay, very good. Now, I too am one that, I believe that in the world of business, oftentimes you're forever trying to discern exactly where I'm going with this company. When I had my own little business going here in Atlanta, the question was asked of me, well, Charles, where do you want to see your company go? I say the next day. I'm just hoping the key fits. But, there are times when you really feel good about what you're doing. You feel good about the concept of your company. You feel good about the relationships you're establishing. And it gives you some confidence that you're going to make it past just tomorrow. My question is, at this point, Charlette, where do you see your company being in the next 5 years based on how you feel about it today?
In the next 5 years, I see NYP Incorporated as a viable management consulting firm that delivers services to, again, the mid-size type corporations. It's known, and it's also delivering services to the Fortune 50 corporations.
Now, I'm so sorry, go ahead, Charles.
That's okay. In the next 10 years, my dream would be to provide that level of service to those corporations at either a discounted fee or free of charge. For example, you have a community that has several businesses within its area that needs help in terms of executing its plan. My dream would be able to have a nonprofit organization, or to be able to provide pro bono services to help that organization maximize its potential.
Wow. So you're actually planning on giving something back.
Yes.
My moms always say, a closed hand can never receive. So it's a beautiful thing to know that your company is maximizing the potentials of others, even though they don't have the resources to do it themselves. That's awesome. It is apparent, Charlette, that you have been blessed. Just in my own personal associations with you, communicating with you, the confidence, and I've heard your presentation as you spoke at Toastmasters, and I say, wow, she really is a blessed woman. And being blessed as you are, tell us, how do you show your gratitude to God for all the blessings He's bestowed upon you?
Of course, giving Him the glory and praising Him as often as I can, but most importantly, trying to let my light shine. It's funny, I have a son, 20-year-old son, who I think loves me dearly. And it's funny how, as he grew up and I gave to him, if you will, he always expressed his gratitude by saying, when I grew up, I was going to buy you a red Corvette. He always wanted to show his gratitude through material type things. He was young, so he really didn't, at that time, I think, understood. And I would respond with, that's fine, son, but all I want is for you to make me proud. And I think God looks at us like that and says, if you could just let your light shine as often as possible, that will make me proud.
Awesome, awesome.
Also.
Yes, yes. Now, let me ask you, have you ever, Charlette, because I mean, entrepreneurs, when they begin to succeed, it doesn't mean that they just began this success walk.
Sure.
They've gone through some ups and they've gone through some downs. Have you ever stepped out before and did not succeed? And if that be the case, please share with us a little about that encounter.
Yes, it was the case. As a matter of fact, at age 23, I formed CAW Enterprises, which was meant to be a 24-hour multi-service center. It was, the Kinko actually was going to provide more services than Kiko did. I actually had the idea then. And what happened was, in my opinion, I had one foot in, one foot out. I really had not stepped out there because I continued to allow the thought of the risk interfering with what I thought was God's plan, because I always felt I had an entrepreneur spirit. I always felt that was something He gave me. But I always used the excuse of being a single parent and having a stable income and benefits as an excuse of not walking out there. So as a result of that, it didn't make it past a couple of years.
So there was a number of things, fear and insecurities and worry and oftentimes, what, that's interesting that you said that, because sometimes when we step out and take advantage of different vocations, independent living more or less, there are times that we are full of anxieties, fears, uncertainties. Am I going to make a sale? Am I going to make this deal? And believe it or not, people can see that.
Sure.
And even if they can't see it, they say you can fool some of the people sometimes, you can't fool the people all the time, but you never can fool self. And with that reality, we see that if we are putting it out there and people are reading us, and they may not be reading us facially, they may be reading our spirits. We're tense, we're tight, or whatever the case may be. So I'd like to know now, as far as your walk and your relationship and stepping out and dealing with some of those anxieties, your faith, tell me, is it stronger on this particular walk on the water? Mind you, I call it walk on the water because it's taking a risk. Is it stronger now, or is it weaker when it comes to I will succeed?
It's stronger now.
Okay, tell us why.
It's a stronger one because I've matured.
Okay.
Not just as an individual, my personal life, but my spiritual life. I've matured. Two, God has showed me some things that I think has helped me to let go of self and let God have His way.
Okay. Charlette, being an independent business person, it is risky, and it is sometimes intimidating, but I guess I want to know that, do you believe that, well, first of all, what is your ideology on security? Is security having a secure job? Is security, as some people say, working for self? Or do you have another rationale, another answer for what security actually means to Charlette Wynn?
Well, first of all, there's no such thing as security in the workplace.
All right, then.
My security is with God, having faith in Him that He will provide. That's what's helped me along the way.
Okay.
And to give you an example of it, I've worked, as I mentioned to you, for 20 years. The first job I had, I worked for 17 years. I was a top performer and worked there until I decided to leave. My second job, I worked until, again, I decided to leave. The third job, I actually got laid off. Still a top performer, still generating revenue for the firm. And I thought I was secure. I thought if anything ever happened, it wouldn't happen to me.
Okay.
So in my opinion, that was the sign that God showed me that there is no such thing as security on the job. The security is only with Him.
Okay, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. And I think it'll be great if more of us will acknowledge that security is not in money.
Yes.
It's not in that fine vehicle or that $150,000 home.
That's right.
We feel like whatever we put equity in it, we got our back is covered 10 years from now. But in actuality, anything could happen. Those material things can be removed. So I'm really happy you brought that out. Now, being an entrepreneur is a unique concept in its own right. It's a unique spirit. Why do you believe that, one, you've been given such an independent spirit, or is there something or someone that actually cultivated that spirit in you?
I think I have this entrepreneur spirit because it comes so natural to me. I'm not at ease when I depend on a job or something to provide for me. I think what helped was my experience as a single parent.
Okay.
I think that taught me a lot in terms of how I have to rely on self.
Okay.
For certain things.
Right. Let's take this to another level, because, I mean, people step out and they do all types of independent jobs, concepts. They have courage. It takes courage. What makes a person who they are when it comes to the concept of that foundation, which is courage and persistence and a dedication? We have to have role models, apparently.
Sure.
I want to ask you this, and this is unique in a different angle. Who, Charlette, would you say is your greatest African American female hero that have come and left an impression upon you?
My mother. She's still here today.
Okay.
Here you have a situation where you have an individual who has yet a 9th grade education.
Okay.
But is one of the smartest people, in my opinion, in the world.
Okay.
She's one of the most creative people, one of the most caring people. She has taught me how important it is to have God in my life. Words can't express the things that I've learned from her. And the things that she used to tell me to help motivate my spirit. For example, I have a hole in my ear. And she would say little things like, that's because you're one of God's angels. Or I'm real conscious of my forehead, for example.
Okay.
She'll say that's because you have so much brain.
Okay.
She constantly, in my opinion, motivated me. But more importantly, she let her light shine wherever she went. I mean, we couldn't go to the grocery store without her trying to talk with someone or share with someone. She had such a warm spirit.
Okay.
And she was a true Christian.
Okay.
Or she is a
She
true
is.
Christian.
I was going to say
My mother is
now.
still
She
living.
ain't dropped the Lord.
No, she's
okay.
still living.
All right.
Yes,
I'm just
doing
kidding
very
with you.
well.
I know
Yes.
she's a warrior as well. And oftentimes we are influenced surely by someone in the household.
Sure.
And apparently Mom. Now, what type of personality did she have? Now, I know she was positive, apparently, because I watch you and I see the courage in you. Do you say that your courage came, because those are words of wisdom.
Yes.
Did the courage come from Mama? Did the courage come from Daddy? Was there a combination of forces that gave you the courage and the initiative to be a person that went after what they wanted?
I really think most of it came from my mom. I mean,
Okay.
of course, my father contributed in terms of that. But I think in terms of my love of courage, it's from my mom. I mean, I'm from a family. I have 6 siblings. And
Right.
like I said, she was very creative. We didn't realize we were poor, I think, until we were 20-something years old. So, again, a person that was very creative, very positive.
So she just used all the resources that was around
Yes,
to make things as great as they appear to be.
Yes, for example, when the ice cream truck came by, we couldn't afford to buy ice cream from the ice cream truck. Well, she would buy ice cream from the store and buy the ice cream cones and serve it to us. And she made us feel so special that the other kids wanted our ice cream cones versus the ice cream cones from the ice cream truck. So it was little things like that that she did that helped us to understand how fortunate we were, for one, but more importantly, she just helped motivate, I think, our spirits.
Awesome. It's amazing, those wonderful warrior mothers of old.
Sure.
I know my mom, I used to believe that a Whopper was a thick Spam sandwich.
Sure.
And she threw the lettuce on there.
Sure.
But,
I know.
Also, we have spiritual warriors in our lives, people
Yes.
that influence us spiritually. From the same page, let me ask, who would you say your greatest biblical female hero was?
I would say Ruth.
Tell us more about that.
Well, Ruth humbled herself.
Okay.
And as you know, she was great-great-grandmother, I think, of Jesus. But here you have another person who stepped out there on faith.
Okay.
And wasn't sure what was ahead of her, but still listened to God's word. So I admired her, not just for how she humbled herself to God, but for her patience and perseverance.
Okay. And let's take this back to the business aspect. Now, You know, when you're out there, you're dealing with the deep ramifications of the business arena, acknowledging the fact that business is pretty political.
Sure.
Especially when you're dealing with certain categories of business, with the city, with the state. I mean, there are persons that have been living in the city forever. There are people that have been in line forever. There are people that have been making phone calls late at night for a very long time. Exactly, when you're dealing with the political aspect, how do you, Charlette, go about, or how do you approach the concept of negotiations when it comes to bidding for contracts that are out there?
Let me see here. There's probably 3 or 4 main things that I do, and it's one, of course, you know, I show integrity right away. I'm honest. I don't try to promise anything that I can't deliver. Of course, I try to get to know that person because I do realize that everything is political. So I do try to get to know that individual or know at least something around what their interests or concerns are. But most importantly, I just try to stay honest and provide, you know, options.
Okay. Now, let's talk more about that. Have you ever been challenged by, I mean, you're a Christian woman, and you hold the torch of spirituality, and, you know, we are the salt of the earth. You know, we're in the world. We have to deal with the issues of reality, and all types of proposals are made in order that we may find in connection with a group that we really don't associate with. Have you ever been approached by, you know, something that was not of your character and desire that said, well, you know what, this is for you, but you got to hang out with us over here, or you got to go politic with us here, or you got to fraternize here? Have you ever encountered that?
Sure.
Okay. How do you handle that type of scenario?
Well, you try to balance it, you know, and I probably my biggest experience is in my last corporation. You know, working for a Big 5 consulting firm, of course, there are tendencies where you socialize after hours. Tendency of being in environments where, you know, there's a lot of alcohol and a lot of things that you may not necessarily be involved in. So you just try to balance it, you know, as much as you can.
Okay. Now, Charlette, let's be realistic here. I mean, you have Christians everywhere, and I don't know if that is just that certain Christians aren't representing as they should, or if they say, well, you know, I live in a world where I have to be flexible, and that man is broken down into a number of entities: the social, the spiritual, the emotional, the therapeutic, all of the above. So I need a social life. So if I go out and I just don't drink, but I hang out with them in certain atmospheres, environments, go to their pool parties or whatever the case may be, just to keep the door of network open, do you believe as a Christian that's inappropriate, or do you think that's all right in this day and time?
I think so. I mean, as a Christian, I think that we are needed everywhere.
Okay.
I think, again, it's important for you, you know, to continue to let your light shine. And you never know what soul you're going to win, or how you're going to win that soul. So I don't discriminate in terms of where I go in most cases. So the answer to your question is yes, I do think it's appropriate. Okay,
very, very good. Charlette, now, you grew up with what, 5 brothers, right?
Yes.
All right, then. Yes. 5 brothers. Pops was there, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Pops was there. That's 6 fellas. And how many girls, how many ladies?
I have 1 sister.
1 sister. So they were the majority.
Yes.
And usually the majority has the most influence.
Yes.
Unless you're dealing with some strong sisters.
Yes.
Okay, but let's just say, hypothetically, you're with your 5 brothers and your father. How has that, well, first of all, how was it growing up around as many men? And also, that experience, did it prepare you? Did it help you in any form or fashion? And when you're working or negotiating or relating to men in the business arena today?
I guess in a roundabout way it did.
Okay.
And when I think back on it, I mean, my initial answer probably would be no, because I think my brothers spoiled me then, and I think they spoil me now. However, because I was around them, I think I had a tendency of leaning more towards the athletic type of activities. You know, for example, I ran track at a very young age, at the age of 10. And as a result of it, I think I developed into a very competitive type of person.
Okay.
My mother used to tell me that I used to cry when I came in second. I was number 2 in the state.
That's me too.
And I think that was as a result of me hanging around my brother and being what I call at that time a tomboy. So as a result of that, now I'm very competitive and I always want to win. So in a roundabout way, I would say that yes, they did prepare me because it helps me to accept, or I should say not to accept, a mediocre type of situation.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, and I think oftentimes Christians feel that, you know, you got to have the humility to know when to say when. You have to have the humility to be a good loser, you know. But I'm a lot like you. As a matter of fact, we had our international speak competition 2-3 weeks ago. And, you know, I didn't win. I came in second.
Let's go.
And I couldn't, no, that's what everyone said. I couldn't appreciate that. Because I, like you, I'm a winner. I must win. But, you know, it took me a moment to sit back and realize how blessed I was just to, one, have the opportunity to be in such a concept, and then two, to come in, I'm not going to even say it. I can't even say the word second.
I'm with you, but I understand, and God helps you to stay grounded in that way, because if I didn't have him, then it would be an issue and a challenge, and me dealing with that for the rest of my life. But all it does is, because I am grounded in Christ, it helps me to continue to strive for first. Even though I get second sometimes.
Absolutely. And actually, those are words of wisdom to all of us, that, you know, you don't have to settle for second. You can have the best because your God is the best. Charlette, what is the greatest advice? I know moms done gave you a lot. What is the greatest piece of wisdom that mama ever gave you?
The one that she's ever given me, and that sticks with me today, is besides God, you are the most important person to you. I remember her drilling that into me at a very young age, and now I think of that often.
Okay. Now, I owned a Gold's Gym in Atlanta, and I know that it gets very, very challenging at times. As a matter of fact, there are times you want to throw your hand up. There are times when I've been through some anxieties when it came to running that company. My question is to you, this is your second time around, what do you do to stay grounded when you're dealing with some of the obstacles of running a business?
Reflect on God, reflect on his blessings, and continue to thank him for what I have received. I think that's how I stay grounded, because I always think about it could be worse. So what helps me stay grounded is to think about his blessings continuously.
Okay. And Charlette, now we're going to bring this to a conclusion. It's coming to an end. Do you mentor to persons? Because there's so many people that have dreams and goals, have great ideologies, ideas. Do you mentor to others? And if so, what are your strategies on providing your services to those who want to also go after their dreams?
Yes, as often as I can. And as a matter of fact, that's what MYP Inc. is all about. Again, helping individuals to identify their potential, helping them understand what it takes to maximize their potential, and helping them put a plan in place that's actionable, helping them to get past go. Okay, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, we again want to thank you for allowing Grace in Motion to come into your homes and to share with you, to give you words of encouragement, to let you know that you have goals, you have dreams. Even God said, a person without a vision shall perish. And I know that there is a vision in your heart. It may be just to be a greater spouse, it may be to be a greater parent, or it may very well to be stepping out as an entrepreneur. Please give Grace in Motion a call. We will hook you up, mind you, with our wonderful guest today who will help you with your entrepreneur dreams. Again, we thank you. God bless you. And we represent, again, nothing more, nothing less but Grace in Motion. Thanks again, my dear friend. Thank you very much.